Hello again, folks. Welcome back once again to Destiny 2. It is a Thursday on August the 20th. You know what that means. It's that time of the week again. We get ready for another edition of TWAB, or This Week of Bungie. For you today, we've got some big news regarding the DCV. We're also going to have a look at the fashion show and a look ahead at our next set of Twitch Prime/Prime Gaming rewards. This will be the 8th of 10 rewards. We'll talk about those two in a moment. But first, we kick off our weekly update for August 20th with the introduction to the concept of the Destiny Content Vault. This is an approach to evolving the game that will allow us to add new content, bring back some of Destiny's greatest hits from the past, and support Destiny 2 for years to come. So, we're going to give you a quick little refresher when Year 4 of Destiny 2 and Year 7 of 10 kicks off on November 10th. Just to let you know that Io, Titan, Mars, Mercury, and Leviathan will all enter the DCV to make room for the return of the Cosmodrome and the debut of the snowy planet, which is located on Jupiter's moon, Europa. Sorry, I had to clear my throat here. Since announcing the DCV, there's been a lot of questions about what's been going away and how the game systems will evolve to reflect the more dynamic nature of the future of Destiny 2. Now, these questions were answered by this rule of thumb. When a destination goes into the DCV, so too will be the PvE activities and the associated rewards. So today we're going to be exploring what Destiny 2 is going to look like starting on November 10th, and then spend some time helping you playing the gameplay to finish up the quests, triumphs, and complete the collections. So first things first, the core activities. So we have the repeatable activities for Destiny 2, which is the strikes, Crucible, Gambit, Raids, and Dungeons. So we're going to start things off here with the strikes. So this is covered entirely by the standard vaulting rule of thumb. So when a destination is vaulted, the strikes will enter the DCV. Okay, so I'm just... okay, so we'll start... Okay, let's go with moving into the DCV first. So going into the vault on Io will be the Pyramidion and the Festering Core. For Titan, we have the strike here, Sabotune's Psalm. That's going into the vault. Mars strikes here, we have Strange Terrain and Will of the Thousands. And for Mercury, Tree of Probabilities and a Garden World. Now, these strikes will be available on November 10th. Starting in the EDZ, we have the Arms Dealer and Lake of Shadows. For Nessus, you have Inverted Spire, Exodus Crash, and the Insight Turbinus. On the Tangled Shore, you'll have Warden of Nothing, the Hollow Lair, and Broadhold. For the Dreaming City, you'll have the Corrupted, and on the Moon, we have the Scarlet Keep. Now, letting you know, we will have 3 Destiny 1 strikes returning and are coming out of the vault in Year 4. So in the Cosmodrome, for sure, we will have the Will of Crota, and also we have Destiny 1's Devil's Lair and Fallen Saber. Those are coming out of the vault in Year 4. And for Europa, there is definitely going to be a strike, but we don't know what it is yet. It would be lovely if we can get at least 2 new strikes in Europa. I'll be satisfied with 2 or maybe even 1, but there is going to be a strike happening in Europa. We don't know what it is yet. It's too early to tell you. Otherwise, if I tell you right now, there's going to be a good old Ace of Spades going right into the head there. But yeah, we're definitely going to have a strike in Europa, but it's too early to tell. We'll have more information on that coming up as we get closer to launch. Now, moving on to Gambit and Gambit Prime. They'll be merging into a single experience when Year 4 will kick off on the 10th. This new version of Gambit will be similar to Prime, as a single round face-off will have tweaked blockers, which will also have a heavier moat drain and some changes to the primeval fight. More details on these updates will follow before the revamped version goes live next season. Now, unlike strikes and the other PvE content, this Year 4 Gambit playlist map selection will be a best of, in quotation marks, list. And in parentheses is also one of those edge cases that they mentioned above. So, the selected Gambit maps in the rotation will be the best competitive play, regardless of the destination's fictional state. So these 2 maps will be going into the DCV. For the Dreaming City, we have the Cathedral of Scars, and the Tangled Shore, we have Kell's Grave. Those are going into the DCV. For these Gambit maps available on November 10th, we have these 4 right here. At the EDZ, you'll have Emerald Coast. On Nessus, you'll have Legion's Folly. On Titan, it's Deep 6. And for Mars, New Arcadia. And here's a quick little side note. As we perform maintenance on the activity, Gambit Prime armor perks will be depreciated. Tongue twister. We are exploring ways to rebalance and reintroduce some of these perks as armor mods in the future. And alongside these changes, we'll be rotating some maps into the DCV while retaining the popular arenas for the mode. So that takes care of Gambit. Now, moving on to Crucible. The new map playlist will be a curated best of mix, and of course that's best of in quotation marks, and will be pulled from both D1 and D2's legacy. So here's a look at the planned rotation in year 4, along with the maps being vaulted. So we'll start with the DCV. The ones that are moving into the DCV are Meltdown, Solitude, Retribution, the Citadel, Emperor's Respite, Equinox, Eternity, Firebase Echo, I think I should say Gambler's Ruin, but they had a little typing error, but I'm pretty sure it's Gambler's Ruin, Legion's Gulch, and Vostok. And the maps will be available on November 10th will be the following. These 4 maps will be making a return from Destiny 1. They are Bannerfall, Exodus Blue, Rusted Lands, Twilight Gap. I know I said that, but they're already in the game right now. Sorry about that. For Destiny 2, we have Altar of Flame, the Anomaly, the Burnout, Cauldron, Convergence, the Dead Cliffs, Distant Shore, Endless Vale, the Fortress, Fragment, Javelin 4, Midtown, Pacifica, Radiant Cliffs, Widow's Court, and Wormhaven. So there's the maps right here. And actually, we're going to scroll down a little bit more because as year 4 will begin, we're also going to be taking the opportunity to focus on the Crucible experience by reducing the number of PvP playlists and the modes to those that receive the most play. This will also increase the matchmaking pools for the remaining playlists and make it easier to find matches with better connections. So here's the full preview of Crucible changes that will be happening later this season, but here's the modes that will be active and the modes that will be transitioning into the DCV. So headed into the DCV will be these PvP modes. We have Supremacy, Countdown, Lockdown, Breakthrough, Doubles, Momentum Control, and Scorched. Those are going into the DCV. Now, the modes that will be available on November 10th will be the following. Rumble, Clash, and 2 versions of Control. We have Regular Control and Iron Banner Control. Also, 2 versions of Elimination. We have the regular version here, which is Elimination, and the other version will be from Trials of Osiris. We also have Showdown, Survival, and Mayhem Clash. And here's a quick note from Trials of Osiris. In case it's not clear from the note above, though, the Trials of Osiris experience is not impacted by other content moving into the DCV this year. The Lighthouse is still going to continue to be available to those who are able to complete a flawless passage, meaning you have to go 7-0. Remember, if you lose one, you're done, and you have to start all over again. Now, moving on to the raids and dungeons. Now, just let you know, no dungeons will be rotating into the DCV starting on the 10th of November, as all dungeon hosting destinations will remain active in the game during year 4. Just let you know on a side note that the Prophecy dungeon will be temporarily unavailable for a brief period to allow the team to make a necessary technical update. More details and the dates and the timing will follow as soon as possible. So that's a little side note. Prophecy will be available for the dungeon on November 10th, but again, they have a little technical update on the way. There will be no dungeons moving in the DCV, but yeah, all 3 will still be available. That's Prophecy, Shattered Throne, that's on the Dreaming City, of course, and the Pit of Heresy on the Moon. And like Strikes, raids will follow the simple vaulting rule. As the destination enters the DCV, so too will be the raids. So we have 5 of these moving into the DCV. Obviously the Leviathan Raid and the 2 Leviathan Raid layers. That's the Eater of Worlds and Spire of Stars. For the last city, it's Scourge of the Past, and also on Leviathan, Crown of Sorrows. Those 5 are going into the vault. The raids will be available on November 10th. We have Garden of Salvation and Last Wish. Those 2 will still be available. And there's also going to be a brand new raid, which is also located on Europa, but we don't know what it is yet. Again, it's too early to tell. We'll have the full reveal of the Strike and the raid once we get closer to launch. And of course, anticipating players will want to grab the coveted raid rewards and triumphs before they enter the vault. So this year's Moments of Triumph currently features the 5 raids being added to the DCV, with the reward lockouts removed to make grinding extra rewarding. Now, if you want to earn your raid ring, or the Moments of Triumph seal, or just try and finish collecting the last few items of the collection, you got the rest of the season up till November 10th to jump in with your friends and close out Year 6 strong. Also, they are planning on bringing the Vault of Glass out of the DCV and moving into Destiny 2 for the first time at some point during Year 4. Now, again, in case you missed it from previous months, Vault of Glass will not be coming out in 2020, but it will be out at some point in 2021. More info later in Year 4 for D2. Next up, completing your collection. So, some big news regarding exotic quest lines. As the content enters the DCV, there will be some exotic quests that can obviously no longer be completed in their original forms. They'll be retired on the 10th, and the incomplete progress will be abandoned. Now, if you want to try and acquire these exotics with their original quests, you need to do so prior to the end of the season. So here they are right here. We have Sturm, Mina Multitool, Rat King, Legend of Acrius, Sleeper Simulant, Polaris Lance, Warline Zero, Ace of Spades, The Last Word, Le Monarch, Jotun, Izanagi's Burden, Thorn, Lumina, Truth, and Bad Juju. Now, none of these legacy exotics will be retired from Destiny 2. The original acquisition journeys are simply entering the DCV alongside their supporting destination and the activity content. We still want new and existing players to be able to earn these legacy exotics. So beginning in Year 4, any exotic that is tied to a quest that has been vaulted will now become available through a new memorial kiosk, which is situated among the vault kiosks in the tower. More information to follow later this season on how this exotic archive works and how to earn any exotics that you didn't get your hands on before Year 4. Now, as far as catalysts go, you've been asking yourself, what about the catalysts that were previously acquired through content that's now in the DCV? Well, here's what's going into the vault and what will be available starting in Season 12. So moving into the DCV first, as we scroll down first, in the DCV we have Bad Juju Catalyst, the Huckleberry, Izanagi's Burden, Legend of Acrius, the Polaris Lance, Skyburner's Oath, Sleeper Simulant, Telesto, Outbreak Perfected, Whisper of the Worm, and Warline Zero. Those are going into the vault. Now, the catalysts available on November 10th will be the following: Ace of Spades, Black Talon, Borealis, Cerebus +1, Cold Heart, the Colony, Crimson, Darcy, or DARCI for short, Ariana's Vow, Fighting Lion, the Fourth Horseman, Gravitron Lance, Hard Light, Jade Rabbit, Lord of Wolves, Lumina, Merciless, Mina Multitool, Prometheus Lens, The Prospector, Rat King, Risk Runner, Sturm, Sunshot, Cyril's Regime, Sweet Business, Symmetry, Tommy's Matchbook, Tractor Cannon, Trinity Goal, Vigilance Wing, Ward of Coil, and Witherord. Thankfully, I may have to catch my breath after that. So there you go. Now, the big question here, actually we have a few to explain right here. Here's a few Q&As we're going to be talking about right here. So what goes away when a destination is vaulted? Well, the answer to that one is its PvE content will no longer be available. And this will include the following: the story missions and cinematics, the strikes, raids, dungeons, adventures, secret missions, vendors and associated bounties, destination-specific patrols, collectibles and scannables, destination-specific activities like, for example, the Mercury's Forge and Mars' Escalation Protocol, and also freely roaming the destinations themselves, like lost sectors, for example. So that's the first question. Question number 2. What will new Guardians experience if the Year 1 campaigns are going away? Here's the answer to this one. With some of the core Year 1 destinations entering the vault, it's true that the free-for-all players will no longer be playing these campaigns, like Red War, Curse of Osiris, and Warmind. So those campaigns will no longer be playable. They are building a new expanded Guardian origin story on the Cosmodrome that will launch alongside Year 4 and will also be available to all Guardians to play. It's designed to introduce you to the world and mechanics of Destiny and prepare you to play the action MMO game that we all enjoy. Now, just to let you know, the Forsaken and Shadowkeep story campaigns will still be playable in Year 4 for owners of those expansions themselves. Here's question number 3. What's happening to the Whisper and 0 Hour secret missions plus their exotic rewards? The answer to this one right here, the Whisper is entering the vault alongside Io, and so too is 0 Hour. Of course, in parentheses, given the old tower was part of the reward campaign, which is also entering the vault. Also, their exotic weapon rewards will not be acquirable until we find a new way to reintroduce them. So you need to make sure you get your hands on them very, very soon. Here's question number 4, and the final question here is, with the Forsaken campaign, Tangled Shore, and Dreaming City sticking around after Beyond Light's launch, does that also mean that other Year 2 seasonal content will remain playable in Year 4? The answer to that one is no. The Year 2 seasonal content, which will include Forges, Reckoning, and Menagerie, will enter the DCV on the 10th. So you need to make sure you experience that content and mark the final items off the collections and the checklists before they're vaulted. So here's what you need to complete here. So from Black Armory season, of course, we have Ada 1, Black Armory, of course, and Seasons of the Forge quests. And I'm pretty sure this was from Gambler's Wild, correct me if I'm wrong here. We have Gambit Prime, Reckoning, and Season of the Drifter quests. And for the Penumbra expansion, we have Benedict 66, Werner 9940, Menagerie, and the Season of Opulence quests. And also, these quests will also include Pinnacle and the Pursue weapon quests. On a quick side note though, these weapons will receive an alternate acquisition method. More details will follow later this season. So there you go, that's the huge news regarding DCV. You can also check out the article here, which will share more details. Or you can also look on the homepage too. Next up, we're going to be talking about the fashion show at launch. Now, DMG, of course, challenged you into the ways of looking fabulous. We've been scrolling through the Solstice Fashion Show. Of course, you can follow their hashtag and pick out a few of the favorites. The best dressed Guardians will be receiving the rare and coveted Levante Prize emblem. So here's the first of many fashion show winners. Starting things off with Hoplite here. You can follow him on Twitter here at Hoplite Destiny. This is the solar eclipse. There's the first fashion show winner here. The next one here, we have Person of Salt. You can follow on Twitter here at ALXGTZE. This category here is Innermost Enlightenment. So that's actually looking pretty good there. The next one here is Hold the Door. You can follow on Twitter at Blekenja. I hope I pronounced that right. Of course, happy Solstice of Fire Guardians. That makes a lot more sense. I think that's basically all solar. Very, very nice. Next one here is Lasagna. His Twitter name is at, in capitals, OBTM, small letters UT. Category here is Embodiment of the War Beast, My Red Legion War Beast themed Titan. And that actually looks very, very nice. Very, very nice. Not sure. Oh, we have another one here. This comes to us from Hunter Blackston. You can follow on Twitter at NonZeroWinter. Hashtag Solstice Fashion Show in the Ascendant Realm with my new glows. Looks like he has some challenges to try and complete. Good luck, buddy. Next one here, and I'm pretty sure you'll do very well in there. Next up here is Gregory Berg. You can follow on Twitter at RealGregBerg. Void is on the way. Hashtag Solstice Fashion Show. Okay, the next one here is Bernardo SP. Of course, his Twitter name at Bernardo SP4. For the day we're free, Lord Fellwinter. Next one here, Shadow Dragon 656. You can follow on Twitter with the exact same name there. Picture name, Gone Beyond Light. Screenshots were by Shadow. PSN name, Shadow Dragon 656. Next one here comes from Ian Park. You can follow on Twitter at Crazy Gun. without the A, of course. A warrior stands alone amongst the wreckage. And the next one here, Undynamic. Of course, you can follow on Twitter at Undynamic1. Weekly activities of a glowing titan. I'm going to try and go through this as quickly as possible. Oh, here's the last one here. This comes to us from Kirk Daniel. You can follow on Twitter at KirkDan65589757. Hashtag Solstice Fashion Show. At Bungie, crayon flavored ramen. Gate 6 would be proud of that. There you go. That takes care of the fashion show. And finally, we're going to talk about Prime Gaming before we wrap this all up. More Prime Gaming rewards eventually went live this week. Now, if you're already signed up, of course, you can click here to claim the rewards. And, of course, Amanda Holiday will have your new items waiting. So here's a look at what rewards that Amanda will have for you this month. So here are the 4 right here. We have for you the exotic standoff emote right over here. We have the exotic ghost shell, which is called the neon helix shell. Exotic sparrow called the Vesplauser. And the legendary ship, which is the EGB, that's EGBE 01X. That's a legendary ship. Just like that. Now, I'm pretty sure the next set of Twitch Prime Gaming Rewards, which is the 8th of 10 drops overall, starts live right now from August 20th through at least September 19th. Correct me if I'm wrong on the end date there, but I'm pretty sure it's August 20th through September 19th. And with that being said, I know it's a long video, but this was a huge Destiny Content Vault news update, along with the fashion show and now Prime Gaming. So with that being said, that's officially it. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. This has been your TWAB update. And without further ado, enjoy the rest of Solstice 2020. And hopefully we'll see Travelers Chosen, which will go live hopefully on the first week of September. Thank you for watching. Oh, and of course, I'll record that whole Travelers Chosen extravaganza when it goes live. So if you guys voted, I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. So until next time, take care.